Alright, so we discussed what seafloor spreading was in the last video. This one, let's find the evidence to support this because this is a very long process and not one person is going to live the lifespan that it takes to get a whole new ocean floor. So, let's talk about the evidence that seafloor spreading actually exists and is happening. There are going to be three evidence we're going to look at. One is going to be molten material. We're also going to look at magnetic strips and drilling samples. Starting with molten material, we do have evidence that if we go down to these hydrothermic vents, though not the easiest thing to do because they are pretty deep in the ocean, but we do have technology. This is the submersible Alvin. Alvin went down in the 1960s and discovered that, hey, there is new rock being formed at the bottom of this ocean near these hydrothermal vents. So now we have evidence that, hey, there's new rock being here. Magnetic strip lines are really interesting. Remember, our Earth does act like a giant magnet. It does have a North Pole and a South Pole. One unexplained phenomenon that we still have in the science world is the fact that our Earth's poles change randomly. They have not changed in more than 780,000 years, but they do change, and we have evidence of this change because the iron and magnetic rocks that are formed from the magma of the mantle coming out is going to cool, and with the iron in those rocks, they are going to line up with our poles. So if our poles were north and south, like they are today, it's going to line up one way, but if we flip them, those poles will line up in the rock, it will line up differently. So the fact that we have different strips being formed, and you can look at this little graphic a bit, each different discoloration here is a different reversal. So currently we're in this red here, and as time goes on, it's going to push out. So here you have this white part here pushes out to the side over here. You got one pole direction here, normal pole, then it reverses again. And we get these layers as the rock is pushing the ocean floor aside. Because remember, when seafloor spreading happens, we make new rock here and it pushes the existing rock to the sides. Last piece of evidence we have is drilling samples. The Glomar Challenger was a 1968 expedition set out, and this ship here, this rig, actually is meant to drill samples down. So basically we have this giant drill apparatus here. It's going to go into the water all the way down, and we are going to take core samples, or we're just going to drill down into it and take those samples of rock. And we can say that, you know what, hey, the rock that is further away from this ridge is actually older than the new rock being formed.